Why do economies rise and then fall? Why do debt crises keep repeating even with modern technology? And why did ancient societies with no banks or economists leave behind warnings that still feel relevant today? Across history, civilizations carefully recorded patterns they observed in money, trade, debt, and wealth. Later generations called some of these warnings prophecies, but in reality they were early forms of economic understanding. Today, on Wealth Laws from History and Legends, we explore verifiable ancient economic wisdom. Not myths, not predictions, but lessons drawn from real experience that still matter for modern prosperity. Stay with us, because understanding these patterns can change how you see money, risk, and long-term stability. What economic prophecies really meant. Ancient people did not predict the future the way movies suggest. What they did was observe patterns over generations. They noticed what happened when debt grew too large, what happened when land was overworked, what happened when wealth concentrated in a few hands, what happened when money lost trust. Because they lacked modern economic language, they used stories, laws, and symbols. These were not supernatural predictions. They were lessons written to warn future generations. Where ancient sources claim divine foresight, evidence is insufficient to support literal prediction. But the economic patterns they described are real and documented. Mesopotamia. The first debt warning system. Over 4,000 years ago, rulers in Sumer and Babylon recorded economic laws on clay tablets. One important practice was debt cancellation. Kings, periodically, forgave agricultural debts, returned land to families, prevented permanent debt bondage. Why? Because they observed that when debt grew faster than farm output, families lost land, soldiers disappeared, productivity collapsed. This is documented by surviving tablets studied by modern economic historians. This was not kindness, it was economic survival. Key lesson: when debt grows faster than income, societies weaken. This same pattern appears in modern financial crises. Ancient Israelite economic resets. Ancient Israel recorded economic laws now found in biblical texts. One example is the sabbatical year, which included temporary debt release, land rest periods, limits on wealth extraction. From an economic view, this helped reduce long-term debt pressure, protect agricultural productivity, prevent extreme inequality. Historians agree these laws existed. How consistently they were enforced is unclear. Evidence is insufficient to confirm uniform application. Still, the principle remains clear. Economic systems need resets to remain stable. Notice something important. Different civilizations, different cultures, but the same economic problems and the same warnings. Next, we move to ancient Greece, where thinkers warned that wealth itself could destroy a society if left unchecked. Greece, wealth and instability. Greek philosophers studied society closely. Aristotle warned that extreme inequality led to political unrest, social breakdown, economic instability. Plato observed that when money controlled leadership, societies weakened from within. These were not moral speeches. They were observations of cause and effect. Modern research supports this. High inequality often reduces trust and increases instability. The Greeks saw it early. At Rome, currency, and collapse. Roman historians documented economic decline over centuries. One major factor was currency debasement. Roman coins slowly lost silver content. This is verifiable through physical coin analysis. As trust in money declined, prices rose, trade slowed, confidence collapsed. Rome did not fall suddenly. It weakened slowly through economic erosion. Lesson: money only works when people trust it. China, the dynastic economic cycle. Chinese historians recorded repeated dynastic cycles. 1. Growth. 2. Surplus. 3. Population strain. 4. Corruption. 5. Collapse. Sometimes called the mandate of heaven, modern historians interpret this as economic and administrative failure, not prophecy. This pattern appears repeatedly across centuries. Lesson: prosperity without reform does not last. The shared patterns. Across civilizations, the same truths appear. Debt must match productivity. Resources must be protected. Wealth concentration creates risk. Currency trust is essential. These are not predictions of when collapse happens. They explain why it happens. Where supernatural claims exist, evidence is insufficient, but the economic patterns remain solid. What this means for you today. You don't need to be wealthy to learn from this history. Ancient wisdom suggests, be cautious with long-term debt. Value productive assets over speculation. Understand economic cycles. Think long-term, not fast profit. History does not repeat exactly, but human behavior does. Ancient economic wisdom was not about predicting the future. It was about understanding reality. These lessons survived because they were tested across centuries. Modern prosperity improves when we respect the patterns history already revealed. If you value clear history, honest economics, and lessons that still apply today, consider subscribing to Wealth Laws from History and Legends. Like this video if it helped you think differently about money. Share it with someone who values long-term stability. And comment below. Which ancient lesson surprised you the most? Your engagement helps keep truthful, advertiser-safe education alive.